I'm feeling this extremely intense connection to a person, and it is stronger than I've ever felt before. That must mean that they're my twin flame, right? It's the intensity where I can tell. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but that is not entirely true. We always attract mirrors. Really, always. As Neville Goddard said, everyone is you pushed out. That would include a twin flame, of course, but everybody else. So it's not just your twin flame that is part of you. It is everyone. A twin flame just has a either very similar yin-yang vibration than you do, or still very similar but opposite. I explained that in the astrology videos about the yin-yang energy of monadic twin flames and split twin flames. So you attracted someone that holds a specific vibration, but in relationship to your own vibration. And that is why these connections can feel specifically intense. A twin flame is not superior than other connections. It is a blueprint. It is something that your soul wanted to experience, and it is connected to love, a lot of love. But there's other divine counterparts where you have the intensity and the love as well. So that by itself does not mean it is a twin flame. What's happening is that when we neglect to evolve and do our shadow work, that thread keeps coming up over and over again, and it will get more intense. The more you try to oppress something, the more it will fight back. And also, the more you focus on something, the more it will grow. What does that mean? That means that we do get programmed in the first approximately 7 years of our lives. Back then, our brain is in the theta state. It's like a sponge, and it will suck everything up and save it. And it's, like a computer program. You get programmed in that time. And those programs will run for the rest of your life unless you actively change them. So one way to change those programs is to get back into the theta state, which you can do by meditation, but also the state when we fall asleep or wake up, or during sleep, the REM sleeping phase, or when you're not in the deep sleep phase but more in the light sleep phase, then your brainwave is in the theta state and can be used to reprogram your mind by actively visualizing or saying your affirmations when you are meditating, or by listening to affirmations while you're sleeping. So now we have programs running, and let's say one program, and it is one of the most common one, is the program of loss and abandonment and or neglect. And that could be that, for example, mom, she was not very nurturing. She was there physically but not very nurturing. Or mom was not there physically because she had to work a lot, or something else happened. There were maybe siblings that needed more attention, or you grew up with your grandparents or in the system, or one of you had to go to the hospital and there was a separation, or mom just let you cry in your bed for a while on a regular basis. All of that will program loss. So you have now the energy of loss within you. But when you have this program running, especially when you're an adult, it is going to show up again and again and again and again. So it's not the other person's fault when you attracted somebody in the avoidant attachment style, somebody who is not there, somebody who's ghosting you. It is you're in a program that is getting mirrored back to you. This means it is entirely your own responsibility, not the other person's responsibility to fix you or to not see that. It's not the other person's responsibility to fix you or to make you not see your program. I always say they don't come to put a band-aid on your wound. They come to poke in so you realize I have this wound, and you start healing it. Or another, let's take this example. You're not in self-love. Maybe you didn't get a lot of positive confirmations when you were a child, or you maybe had siblings and you always had to take care of them or share, or you didn't get the attention you needed because of siblings, or mom had to work a lot, as I said earlier. Or maybe you only got positive feedback when you were behaving in a specific way or got home the good grades, and other times you didn't get positive feedback. What that will install is a lack of self-love, because you did not learn that you were perfect the way you were. Positive feedback was connected to a specific condition, like a specific behavior. There were conditions connected to it. And then when we are in self-love, What do we attract? Somebody who does not choose us, or somebody who is not the perfect lady or gentleman we would like, somebody who's not treating us well. If we have that fear of loss, we attract somebody who is not available. Maybe they're already married or in another relationship, or they're not emotionally available and they don't want to, they're ghosting, whatever it is. That is your own inner program that you need to change. So let's say you are not in self-love because you got a program installed in early childhood and you didn't heal that program. You didn't actively change them. And now those programs are running and you attracted somebody who is not treating you that well. Maybe sooner or later, one of you broke up. Maybe you even broke up and you said like, okay, no, I don't want to be treated that way. And you got out of that relationship. But if you did not heal that old program, you will attract the next person. And since you did not heal the program and you either completely oppressed it or you focused so much on the bad behavior of the other person, you made it grow. And then you attract another person and it will feel even more intense. And in the beginning, of course, it is more beautiful. It's always beautiful in the beginning. I always tell my clients, if your soul wants to evolve, you attract somebody and they treat you bad on day one, there's not going to be a day two, because in the beginning you're not that emotionally connected and it would be easier for you to get out. But that's not what your soul wants. Your soul doesn't want to get out immediately. Your soul wants to open up to that person so that they can push your buttons and they can mirror you, so you realize what needs to be healed. That is why in the beginning we have this beautiful phase before the tables turn and all of a sudden they withdraw or they turn mean or there's something like that going on. And what happens if you managed to get out of that relationship as well, or they broke up with you and you still haven't healed that program? You still don't see your own needs as important. You still put everybody else before you because that's what you learned, because you're scared you're not a good boy or girl if your needs are met and you don't consider everybody else. Of course, we're not talking about being egoistic. We're still connected to other people, but we're talking about your needs matter. If you always put yourself last, you show the universe, look universe, I'm not important. I don't even treat myself well. Then how do you expect to attract somebody who treats you well? So we have to learn to overcome the programming. One amazing technique would be the revision technique, and you will find a video of the revision technique in my manifesting playlist. You can use affirmations, you can learn to set boundaries, you can learn to take good care of yourself and your own needs. And when you do that, then you can attract somebody who is treating you well. But usually we focus so much on it's the other person, they're mean, they're the narcissist. That's unfortunately something that's going on in the twin flame community, blaming the other person for being a narcissist because they don't fulfill you, they don't give you what you want. And since they don't give you what you want, they're the narcissist because their needs don't matter, and maybe they have been hurt by too much closeness, or they feel smothered, so they have to set boundaries, and that makes them the narcissist. That's not how it works. It is always you and they mirror you. But the more you focus on their bad behavior, the more it grows, because the universe thinks you want to experience what you focus on. Also, the universe thinks you want to experience what you oppress, because resistance is also some kind of focus. It may not be a conscious focus, but in the subconscious, that issue is very much still active, and for that reason it is manifesting itself on autopilot over and over and over and over again. And the more you neglect it, the more it will grow. So the next person you attract, of course, it will feel even more intense than the person before. The honeymoon phase in the beginning needs to be more intense and more beautiful than before, otherwise you would not open up. When the time comes to show you your fears, even the negative stuff is going to be even more intense than the one before. And if you still don't do your work and you still keep on blaming the other person for acting in a negative way and for being the narcissist and toxic and whatever you want to label them, it's spiritual bypassing. It's not doing your work, but being in victim mentality and blaming the other person. That situation is going to get worse and worse and worse. And if you manage to get out of that relationship, you already know what happens. You attract the next person, and it is going to be even more intense. And at some point, yes, of course, it is felt very intense, and you feel, I have never felt this close connection to anyone ever before. This is crazy. And then you Google extremely intense connection, cannot stop thinking about them, I'm obsessed with that person, and then you stumble upon the term twin flame. And then it's like, oh yeah, that must be my twin flame because it's extremely intense. No, this intensity can simply be you neglected your issues, and the universe will use a magnifying glass and get it out of proportion, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now it is so huge that it's like a giant mess and extremely super intense. That doesn't make that person your twin flame. It just makes them the person that came to show you what you have not been looking at because you tried to not give it any attention, but your soul wants to give it attention in order to heal. A twin flame connection or a catalyst connection, it's in the beginning not easy to differentiate, and it's not even important. This kind of connection, you will all of a sudden, it will be like a click, and then you will notice, oh my God, I have to change. And you will overthink everything in your life, every person in your life. Are they still my friend, or I'm just being friends with them because I have been friends with them for so long and I don't even like them anymore, or this friendship is harming me because they're not treating me well. And you start to sorting out people, even relatives, if they don't make you feel good. You start to think about your job. Is this my dream career, or am I just doing this because I'm scared to do what I actually want to do? And now you realize, wait, it's not self-love when I go to a job I hate 8 hours a day. That is showing the universe I don't deserve to be treated well because I don't treat myself well, and that means I cannot get mirrored back being treated well. And you see, all of that is connected, and you start thinking about, what do I really want to do as a career? You learn to set boundaries. You feel a strong urge to purge old emotions, and you start doing research about how to heal your childhood, how to overcome stuff, and you do it, and you feel extremely guided. And things, I don't know, on your YouTube, things like this video pop up, and you gain new information on how to evolve and how to grow. That is how you recognize a twin flame. It will change your entire life. There will be a life before and a life after. It's not staying stuck in karmic cycles and repeating those patterns over and over again. I don't just want to say a twin flame, but a divine counterpart or high-level soul connection. They come to break you out of cycles, not to keep you stuck in cycles. And that is how you recognize a high-level soul connection. It doesn't even matter the label, if it's a twin flame or not. In a twin flame connection, there's other factors. I do have a video about 20 signs of a twin flame connection. You can check that one out if you want to know if you're dealing with a twin flame. But the label is, it's only important to know what is the journey I am on. Because other kind of soul connections, they're like soul twins, they're more harmonious, they're not as intense as a twin flame connection. The label is never important, like in hierarchy, like this connection is better than the other. They're not better. It's just a different template. It's just something your soul shows. It's just a different energy. As I said in the beginning, some high-level soul connections or divine counterparts, they're similar, more similar in their frequency. Other are more oppositional, like a split twin flame that still has a lot of sameness. And the monadic twin flame, they have a lot of yin-yang energy going on. So it's a different energy, but it's all true love. So the label doesn't matter. It's not one is better than the other. It's just a different journey. Depends on what your soul chose to experience. But to sum it up, no, just because it's extremely intense and more intense than any connection you've ever felt before does not automatically mean it's a twin flame. It just could simply mean you have been oppressing stuff, you have not been looking at it, and the universe is giving it to you even stronger and stronger and stronger, so that you cannot ignore it anymore. Because your soul doesn't want to ignore, your soul wants to evolve. If you need help with that, you can reach out for personal coaching. You can check out my other content. I have lots of content in the Twin Flame 101 playlist or the Manifesting playlists. I do have meditations, guided meditations and subliminals to reprogram your mind. Short ones during the day and the long ones, the 8-hour ones, you can listen to during the night when you are in this theta state. You can find me on Facebook or social media. Links are below. And yeah, I do see you on social media or in another video or in a personal coaching. Until then, I do wish you all the best now. Bye-bye.